Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. First of all, I want to say congratulations to anyone that went ahead and went through with those NVIDIA put options. That price target is coming in really quickly. Today, a really ugly downside across the market. A lot of stocks fell, of course, but that NVIDIA trade worked out beautifully. So congratulations to anyone on that one. Today, we're going to go ahead and review a trade that I opened today, and I am still currently holding. This trade is on some BABA put options. There are a lot of reasons why I took this BABA trade, and I want to go ahead and go over those in today's video. We're going to go ahead and look at why I got into it, what technicals I was looking at, some of the mindset behind the trade, also some external factors such as news coming out of China, and then I will go ahead and give you guys the flip side of what could go wrong, what could go against this trade so that we are prepared when I'm in it. If you guys are in it as well, we are prepared for what could potentially happen tomorrow. So let's go ahead and review that trade. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, press the like button after watching. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost to our 40,000 subscriber goal. And of course, if you guys want to come to the pre-market live streams, make sure to press that bell down below so that you are alerted every single time that I go live, Monday through Friday, starting at 8 a.m. All right, guys, so before we jump into today's video, I want to announce a project that I have been working on with a company called Epic Desk. We've created a product that is really, really sweet for your trading setup, for your desk, and I want to go ahead and announce it today, show you guys the video, give you some explanation of what we did and the product details. So let's go ahead and roll that clip right now. All right, guys, so I want to introduce to you here the Options Insider collaboration with Epic Desk to make this pretty epic product. Wall Street themed, bear versus bull. It even has the option Greeks here on the right side. I have always wanted a desk mat, but I never wanted something that was boring. I wanted something that fit the vibe and the theme of my office, and I think this hits it out of the park. If you guys are interested, right now these are on pre-order. You guys can go ahead and get your order in. It will take a few weeks as these are very limited, but I think this thing is pretty awesome. It's massive. It fits the keyboard and mouse beautifully. So make sure to check it out. If you guys have been looking for a desk mat that fit your trader desk, I think this thing is pretty top-notch quality. Make sure to go ahead and check it out. All right, guys, so again, if you're interested in that product, make sure to check out the link down below. You can go ahead and pre-order this. The shipping time is a little extended because they are made to order. They're very limited, so make sure to get yours while you can. Let's go ahead and now jump over into the BABA put option. So here on your screen, guys, you are looking at the BABA daily chart. And now this morning, what we saw was we saw a gap up on the chart. We saw a big gap up on not just BABA, but Chinese stocks across the board. BABA, Baidu, JD. You saw some movement on NIO and some of the Chinese EV companies. So we got that push higher. Now, the reason for this gap up, as you guys can see on your screen, is the Chinese central bank went ahead and cut lending rates for the first time in 2 years. So we saw that rate cut and we saw some push higher on a few of these stocks. So when I saw that, I like to look to see where is that gap, where is it pushing into, and can I take advantage of a gap fill type of play? We have seen BABA fill those gaps in the past. Before we get into that actual gap fill, I want to reiterate the daily chart and how important this was with my analysis. I knew that BABA was pushing back into the 137s, 138s, 140s, and I know that this is an area where resistance has come in the past. This was a previous support level. We rejected it back here, back on the 12th of January. And then when we pushed into it again, I wanted to see if we could reject again. So the downside made sense to me because I knew I had that resistance above that would help me with this trade. And if it did break above that resistance, then I can go ahead and cut my loss if I was to go ahead and get into it. That's what I was thinking pre-market, right? So I knew that resistance was there on the daily chart, and I knew there was upside resistance that I could go ahead and play along with. On top of that, we've seen the market be relatively weak, so I wanted to see if I could go ahead and play that gap fill. So if I go over to the 30-minute chart, what you guys are going to look at here is the gap that we saw today. So we saw that move up higher the previous week, and today we saw this big gap up. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and show you guys is almost every gap on BABA does get filled. You saw a gap up here back on the 7th of January. That gap was filled. We saw a gap up back here on the 11th of January. That gap was filled. We saw a gap down here on the 18th of January, and that gap was filled. Why are there so many gaps on Baba's charts? It's because it moves with the Asian markets. And when the Asian markets move quite a bit, of course, you're going to open up with a gap to either direction because it is not trading at the time of the US market. So that is why Baba in the first place is prone to so many gaps on the daily chart or on any chart in this example. So we saw that gap today on the daily chart or on the chart in general, and I was looking to play the downside to fill that gap. Now, what you guys can see is that worked out pretty well. As of right now, I'm up about 50% on this play, but let's go ahead and break down when I actually went ahead and took it and what I saw intraday to make me confident on this entry. So if I go to the 1 minute chart, I'll go ahead and pull that up, and I'm going to go ahead and put on the after hours. And now we can go ahead. I'm actually also going to put on the 9 EMA, the EMA strategy that I use and the previous close. So here we go. Here is the EMAs, and here is Baba on your chart. I'm not that focused on the EMAs in this particular situation, but I am focused on some of the price action. That is why I ended up taking it. So you guys can see this morning, we started around this 134 level. So of course, I am going to mark out where that pre-market support came in and where that market started to push off of here in the morning. So we got that push higher, and we started out around 134. We pushed higher, and right at market open, we got that nasty rejection. I did not trade it in the morning. I did take one put option here at this 9 EMA rejection on my Interactive Brokers account. I'll go ahead and pull up that trade for you guys to share with you the trade that I did take on this little push down lower. Not going to focus on that trade today. That was just a little scalp that I took off that 9 EMA rejection. What's more important is this longer term gap fill play. So we can see that we did in fact get that rejection early morning. When I saw that, I got interested on potentially playing this gap because I saw that weakness come in very, very quickly. We broke below that 134 and we started to trade sideways. Now, right around this time here, it was around 11:30 to 11:45 is when I really thought, okay, this might actually play out because that pre-market support went ahead and turned into resistance, a little double top resistance right here around 12 o'clock today. We got that double top resistance making lower highs, turning previous support into resistance. And really, that was what was important to me. You can throw away the EMAs, you can throw away the VWAP, you can throw away the RSI, the MACD, all of those indicators. This price action, previous support into resistance, is much more important to me in this scenario as I see Baba reject. Now, the next thing I was looking for was, is Baba going to break below a day? I was looking to see, are we going to break below this support that we went ahead and put in around 132.75? We're trading in this channel. We have resistance up top at pre-market support, but we do have this support in this area, right? We have support here around this 132.75. We have the double bottom right here, and I wanted to wait to see if we would break below that double bottom. We did go ahead and break below the double bottom right around this 1:05 p.m. time, and that is when I got into my trade. Now, I will say it did go against me very quickly, but my mindset is what keeps me in this trade because, in my opinion, I'm not getting in this trade for just a quick scalp. I'm getting in this trade for a longer-term downside move to fill the gap below. And I'm putting a position size in it that I am okay losing. So I'm looking for that large percentage point gain with a small monetary risk. And when I take trades like that, I let them work out. I let them do their thing. I let them move throughout the day, and I just focus on what the price action is doing. I'm focusing on whether the price action is showing me that we're making higher highs and higher lows, initiating an uptrend, or are we continuously making those lower highs and lower lows throughout the day, which keeps me on the track of looking for the downside. So I got in there around 105, a 133 put, playing for that gap fill to 201. And you can see I have that volume profile up, and I'll show you that in just a second. I did end up closing the day about 50%. I am still holding it as of right now. There is a chance that Baba gaps up. There are some things that could go against this trade, and we will talk about that later in this video. So you can see I got into there around 105. Of course, it did work against me very quickly. You can see right there. Why did I stay in the trade? Why didn't I panic out of it? Reason for that is because my stop loss was above this 134. I knew there was a double top up here that has previously rejected. And what I said to myself was, as long as Baba does not get it back above that 134, I want to stay in this put option because I think this could continue to make lower highs and lower lows. And that is in fact what it did. It came up to around 133.70, made another high here, a lower high than the previous two, and continued to sell off into end of day. We got that breakdown below 132.75 again, made another lower high, and continued to make lower highs throughout the close of the market day. I held it because I had proper risk. I was not concerned about the trade size. I was not concerned about the loss, and I had my structured levels of where I would stay in it and where I would get out of it. So if I go ahead and pull up the volume profile, there were some volume levels that I was watching today, and why I thought this could start to move pretty heavily below the 132.75 level. So if I pull this up today, guys, you can see on the volume profile, right below this 132.75, there was a pretty large gap here in volume. So that's why I had that level on my chart, that double bottom level. I said in the Discord chat here, if you guys see, I stay updated on the chat. I make sure to update you guys if you're in the chat on the trades as they work out or as if they don't work out. So I said Baba is holding the last shelf of volume here. If we get that break, I believe this could actually start working. And that was right around this 132.75 level. So I was making sure people were aware that if we do break this 132.75, that was the last little volume shelf that I believe could hold this up. If we do break below, I think it starts to flush. We did start to get that move into close today. Now, what could go against me here on this trade? What am I concerned about on this trade? There are a few things. Number one is the potential for a gap up on the Asian markets. Hang Seng Index, the Nikkei Index, I'm concerned about those two gapping up again because they had massive days yesterday. So do those gap up again? If they do, Baba will push up once again and likely cause me to open up red tomorrow. That's number one. That's the first concern I had. Number two is the potential for this to not fully fill that gap. And what do I mean by that? If I go ahead and delete this after hours grayed out area, what I am concerned about is the potential for Baba to hold this area right here around this 130. Let me go ahead and clean this chart up. All right, so the chart's a little bit cleaner. No EMAs, no SMAs, just looking at price action alone. This is the area that I am slightly concerned about Baba holding, right around this 130 to 131 area. All in this range right around here where these previous highs were. You can see previous high, previous high, previous high. I am slightly concerned about Baba holding that level and not coming fully down to this gap area right around 127. The gap extends from 127 up to around 134. You guys can see that right here, this big gap that was on the chart. I would like to see Baba pull back to that 127, but I am slightly concerned about the potential for previous resistance to turn into support here on Baba. So first of all, possible gap up on the Asian markets. Second, maybe we do find support here at this 130 and we start to push back higher. Those are two things that I'm concerned about. The risk that I have in the trade, I came to the conclusion that it was worth going ahead and swinging. Of course, we'll see what happens, guys, but I like to make you aware of what's working, what could potentially not work, so that if it does not work, you fully understand what went wrong. I'm aware of it, but I am accepting it. I'm accepting the risk that I have in the trade, and that's really all that matters to me. So that's my Baba trade, guys. That's what I looked at today. Right now, up about 50% on the trade, taking it intraday, getting that gap fill that is starting to work. Not fully there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I will keep you updated on this trade. All right, guys, so that is what I have for you in today's video, giving you some insight on that play on Baba. Hopefully it gives you some idea of how you can play these gap fill levels. They do tend to fill. The timing can be a little bit hard to catch. Today, I saw the breakdown. I saw the downside on the overall market, and I decided to go ahead and take it. We'll see what happens. I will keep you updated here on the channel. If you enjoyed today's video, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to stay tuned for more. Make sure to check out the desk mat, the Options Insider desk mat. It is going to be in a link down in the description. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.